Well, we're excited to go down to Miami and, in our opinion, play a really good football team. A ton of talent, very athletic. They played some good football this year and had some good wins. Took Florida State to the wire, and so we'll have our hands full. I think we got to have a good week of practice and make sure we have a good plan together. And I think the last 3 or 4 days we've gotten some guys a little bit of rest, hopefully, and we're ready to come out this week and prepare well and get ready to hopefully go out and have a good performance in Miami. But it'll be a good challenge, and I didn't know that we had not won a game down there in the history, so we got to go find a way to break that streak.
A lot last week about the short week going into Virginia. Coming out of it, though, the benefits of having those extra days, and now, I guess, did you do anything yesterday? And it kind of start game week yesterday, but really, I guess today and tomorrow begins the prep. How big is it to have those extra days?
I thought it was good. I thought our guys needed a physical mental break a little bit and try to get refreshed for this last two games that we think are very tough opponents that we're going to have to play well and try to get all of our guys healthy into the game and fresh. So it's been beneficial. I think you know tomorrow will be our first kind of real physical practice and getting back after it. But we have to have a good week. But it was beneficial to get off the field a little bit.
When you have all these different scenarios lined up for who can make the ACC championship, how do you make sure your guys just focus on what they can control in a game like this?
Well, I think the most important scenario is if we win, then we definitely help our cause. And I think at this point in the season, you always treat it as if you want to advance, you got to win. And I just think that's going to be important that we do. You need to play your best football at the end of the year. Um, we found a way to make a really good comeback in the last game when we had a time there where we were struggling. So we just got to kind of regroup and pick the pieces up and understand that it's going to take our best performance in order to beat Miami.
Jeff, obviously a lot of storylines coming into this game. One of which is, you guys in Miami will play for the Howard Schnellenberger Trophy, which we talked about during the summer. But I guess how much of an impact do you feel like he's had on you, and what was that like when you were playing for him and he was kind of recruiting you here?
Well, of course, I love Coach Schnellenberger and Beverly and their family. They've done not only a lot for me, but really for this program here and for the University of Miami. Coach Schnellenberger was a real football guy that could talk the talk and walk the walk and took on every challenge ahead of him, full speed ahead with no fear, and his players and teams responded. So I just think anyone that knows him or played for him has learned a lot from him. Um, you know, Basically how to not back away from big games, how to rise to the occasion, um, how to get the most out of your players and your team. So I think you know there's a lot of people on both sides of these two teams that will have a lot of connections to coach, and I'm sure take a lot of things from him, and definitely I'm one of them.
Jeff, I know you said you don't want the players looking at different scenarios, which is understandable. Do you look at the different scenarios first of all, and then secondly, has this team exceeded your expectations? I think it has everybody else's.
Well, I think probably everybody's looked at the internet and a little bit of the scenarios. When I've tried to look at it, I can't figure it out. So the only one I know of is if we win, good things will happen. So that's what we got to do. We got to go win the game, and to go to Miami and find a way to win on their home field will be a huge accomplishment if we can get that done in itself. As far as our team to this point, we've done a good job, and that's always good when you find ways to win close games. Once again, I think it's important to be judged when the season's over, so we still have plenty of season left to play. And you know, and like I said, probably our next two opponents could be our best two opponents of the entire year, talent-wise, on our schedule. So we're going to have to, whatever mistakes we've made, try to fix them and correct them and limit those moving forward, and make some plays on offense, get points, and on defense, find ways to correct a few of the things that we didn't do well this past Thursday, and continue to press forward.
Jeff, when you look at the road versus away splits for this team, you guys have been really dominant at L&M Stadium, but when you travel away from it, they haven't been quite nearly as dominant or efficient. What do you think is the biggest reason for this, and what's going to be the biggest key to kind of bucking that trend?
Well, I think that we've faced some good opponents on the road, and every game's competitive. Every advantage you have to try to take when you're at home and the crowd's on your side and the noise levels on your side. It's an advantage. So we without question have to find a way to start faster on the road, which we have not done for the most part. I know we did it at Indiana, but for the most part we have not. And we've got to be able to finish. And I just think playing consistent football for 4 quarters with as few lapses as we possibly can is important. On the road, you can't lose the turnover battle. You can't have dumb penalties that hurt your team. All those little things you have to try to go in our favor. So we've got to concentrate on those and make sure that we try to win those battles as we're trying to be the most physical team and the toughest team and finding ways to get points.
Yeah, Jeff, you guys have won a lot of close games. You've won a lot of games that were up for grabs in the fourth quarter. Can you work on things in practice to heighten, I guess, focus or intensity, or how do you attribute your success in winning close games?
Well, I don't know the exact reason other than I do think we put pressure on our guys in practice to perform. I think we ask them to treat practice like the game and understand that you've got to make plays. I think it's important that um, as a play caller and coaches, you stay aggressive to a certain degree, but smart in those situations so that you're still attacking and your team still knows that you have confidence in them. And then I think as players, they have to continue to have confidence that they can go make the play and understand that when you're facing good teams, they're going to make some plays too. So to think you're going to make all of them is probably unrealistic. So you just kind of have to bounce back out of it. And I just think we've been able to do that for the most part this year in a lot of situations, which has been great to see. But we'll be challenged, these next games as well to see if we can, do more. So I like the fight of the team and the makeup of our team, and we've got to continue to, you know, swing the momentum back in our favor when those things happen.
Jeff, you've obviously known Ron English a long time. What would you say is kind of the key to how the relationship works here in terms of you taking on a little bit more defensive responsibilities than you did earlier in your career?
Well, I've known Ron for a long time, and he loves football. He's not into anything other than trying to help the team win and help his players perform at a high level. He doesn't need a lot of hoopla around him, which is great because he's very modest. I think that he wants to win, and I think as our relationship has grown, just like with everything, when I give certain ideas the nice way first, he'll think about it and not be for sure about it, but normally, sometimes he comes around and says, that's pretty good. And I just think, so we've grown that trust a little bit, and, we communicate a lot. I mean, I think if you studied our defense this year compared to last year, while we played well last year, we do different things. So we're not able to adjust. We're not able to modernize what we're doing. We are able to modernize what we're doing. We're able to adjust. We're able to change things up. I think through the off season we've practiced quite a few things so that there are some change ups every week. Because I think, as I tell them all the time, the quarterback needs to see a couple different things every week while you're continuing to do well what you're doing. But you got to affect the quarterback, and you got to hit him. You got to get after him. You got to blitz. You got to create negative plays. You got to find ways to get turnovers. You got to challenge routes. So I think our philosophy is completely on the same page, and you continue to work through things so that you find ways to win. But we've done a lot of really good things, and that's been fun to watch. And we want to try to keep building on that. And just like I said with our team, I mean the season's not over. We got a lot left to play for, and you can't think that you've arrived by any means because we haven't. We've got to continue to fight and battle and to prepare and to plan and to have some creativity in what we're doing, so that we're affecting the quarterback, and that's the key is making sure we find ways to affect him. I thought Virginia's quarterback played really well against us. So we went back and figured out, what can we do a little different, or could have done a little different to affect him, but he played well. And I think Miami will have an experienced quarterback that's played a lot of football. We got to find a way to affect him and not let him feel comfortable. And to this point, I think we've worked pretty hard at it.
We've talked a lot about the depth at running back with all those guys in there. Isaac's different, but yet he's probably faster than I think most people believe he is. Can you just kind of talk about what he brings and how? I mean, he's the reps that he's had. He really does come through for you guys.
Well, I like our running back room, and we definitely have leaned on our rushing attack. And Jawar has done some really good things. I do think not being able to practice the last couple of weeks has made him not as sharp as he can be. So we hope to kind of see if we can get him back in the mix this week a little bit more, so that he feels comfortable and can be decisive, make quick cuts, which he's definitely capable of, and he showed that throughout the year. I think Isaac, in the meantime, has really taken on a important role. He runs downhill. He lowers his pads. He's got good hands. When he's in the open field, he's got great speed, and he's done a really good job. And then even Maurice has not gotten as many reps lately as he would like, but he's still continuing to work. And so I think we've worked that room a lot. They understand our package. Coach Barkley's done a good job with those guys, and we feel comfortable putting all those guys in there.
Jeff, just curious the timetable on Jarvis and kind of what his status is right now, and do you expect him to be back over the next couple games?
Well, we're trying hard to get him back. I'm not optimistic about this week, but we'll see how this week goes with Jarvis.
Jeff, Van Dyke was the quarterback to start the year, and then he got replaced. The other guy got hurt against Florida State and appears to be out. What are the things that Van Dyke does well, and what does Miami try and do offensively?
Well, I think with Van Dyke, he has a lot of experience. He's played a lot of football. Without question, he's a passer. He likes to throw the ball. They have some skill, some really good skill that if they have a chance to get open, he can put it on them and make plays. He's thrown for 16 touchdowns, but he has thrown some interceptions. So we have to find ways to create some interceptions and turnovers and make him feel comfortable. But if you give him time and you give him space, he's played a lot of football. He can deliver the ball. So that'll be the challenge. And I know they went with another quarterback last week who gave him a spark. He had some energy, had some juice. He ran around and made plays, a little bit different style. But going back to Tyler Van Dyke, he's played a lot of football. So we're going to have to not give him a clean pocket and affect him when he's back there and make him feel not as comfortable as he would like to.
Jeff, obviously there's a lot of scenarios out there in which you guys would clinch a berth in the ACC championship, but it's honestly as simple as beat Miami and you're in. Does that add more pressure on you guys knowing that it's a win and in type situation, or does it make you guys more focused, or maybe a little bit of both?
Well, I think it's important that we try to win the football game no matter what. And, every game matters in the big picture. So we're concerned about the big picture, and that is finishing with the best record we can, winning conference football games, finding ways to beat good opponents on the road. The fact that we haven't won in Miami was new to me, so it'd be great to find a way to go down to Miami and win a football game. So there's a lot of challenges on that. So I just think our team needs to understand that and realize that if you just work hard, continue to improve, and take care of business and find ways to win, then good things happen at the end. So I think that's the main focus for us. And to beat a really, in my opinion, good Miami team on their home field would be a great accomplishment for our football team.
Back to the running game, Miami's in, I think, the top 5 or 6 with defending, rushing this year. What makes them so strong up front on the defensive line like that? And what do you want to see, I guess, out of that running back room to step up against a team that's probably the best rushing defense you guys have played yet?
Well, when you watch these guys on film, they might be the most talented team we've seen to date on the defense side of the ball. They're big up front. They're athletic. They're good at the linebacker position. They run and make plays. The secondary has good size and speed, and looks the part, and plays fast. So, this team is talented, without question. They're very talented. And they've lost a few close games. but they still have played some really good football, and you know, we have to play well, or it's not going to be a good day for us. So I just think that we have to step up to the challenge and find ways to do the small things to keep us in the game and to not make a lot of mistakes, and find a way to grind the thing out in the second half. But it'll be important that we come ready to play because this team, is very talented.
Jeff, you and the coaching staff set specific goals for a team before the season. If so, are those goals all still there, or have you had to recalibrate what's even possible?
Well, we talk about our goals one time and just kind of focus on the process of getting there. So we really haven't brought it up a whole lot. I think everyone realizes that there's a lot to play for. Wins are the main way to get to where you want to get, and having three home games in a row has made us feel comfortable, and we have to realize it's not going to be that easy going on the road at Miami. We're going to have to overcome a lot of things, be ready to be in an environment that's different from us. It'll be hot and warm, and we'll be on the road, and this could be the most talented team we've played to date. So, athletically and physically, they're very good, and so we have to match that and just figure out a way to do something that hasn't been done here before, and that's going and winning on the road in Miami.
I was going to ask about the weather because it looks like it's like mid 80s on Saturday. Is there anything you can do this week? I mean, it's been warmer here, but it hasn't been like that in a while.
Well, I don't know if there's a whole lot you can do with that, but we're gonna practice hard and get after this week. They've had a little break, and it's important that we get back to realizing the type of game speed that it takes in order to win. We got to have some physicality in our practices, and because that's what this team is going to be all about. So there's a lot to work on this week to get ready for it, and we need to push ourselves and rest and eat and do all those things right off the field because it will be warmer than we're used to, and we got to be able to not let that affect us one bit. And so preparing well this week is vital. Okay, thanks, guys.